Hello, in this JavaScript programming video, I am going to show you conditional statements. So a conditional statement allows you to check if a condition is true. If so, run a certain piece of code. If it isn't, then you could check for another condition, so almost like a fallback condition, and then ultimately you could fall back on sort of a default set of code as well. So let's just dive right into it. Let's create a couple of variables. So num1, so it's a value of 9. Keep using, the value 9. There's no honestly significance to it. Num2, I'll use a value that I'm positive I have not used yet. 314, which is also the first 3 digits of pi, 3.14, semicolon. And now the format, the syntax of a conditional statement is pretty simple. You put if, open close bracket, and in here you put your condition. So let's check if num1 is less than num2. In here you can put any comparison operator. So the comparison operators that you've used, or anything that can basically return a true or false value, you can put in here, and you can mix and match them with brackets as much as you want. So if we do num1, if num1 is less than num2, then you put curly braces like so, and any code within these two curly braces will only be run if this condition is true. So we'll do a console.log saying num1 is less than num2. That's pretty cool. Let's save it, run it, see what happens. They say num1 is less than num2. I want to capitalize that. And what would happen if I change this to 900? Nothing. Or this check happens. It says, is 900 less than 314? No, it isn't. Therefore, it just skips this code block and just keeps running the application. As there's no code remaining, it doesn't do anything. So if we want to run another condition, we can tag on an else if, and this will only get checked if this equates to false. So if we do num1 is greater than num2, then we'll print this out. But saying is greater than num2, so if we refresh, it says num1 is greater than num2, but the first one wasn't printed out. And if we change this back to a 9 and reload, it says num1 is less than num2. So this condition is checked. If this equates to true, all of the code, not just this one line, if there's more than one line, it could be a bunch of loops, a bunch of function calls, which we will get onto very soon. All of the code within these parentheses will be initiated. If this is false, and only then, like the else if will be called. So it says num1 is greater than num2. And there are other, let me just, it is weird. Ooh. There we go. Okay. There are other, only all on one line. You can put multiple else ifs as well. Obviously in this scenario there isn't much point, because if it's less than that, greater than that, the only other option is to check if it's equal to it. And you can also have a fallback, which is else, and if all of the other conditions, so the if condition and the else if conditions fail, then this code will be called, and this is, you can think of it as default code. So I'm going to say default fallback code, reload, that won't get run. If I change this to 314, so what happens, it says, is 314 less than 314? Well, no it isn't, they're the same. So this fails. Then it goes to the next else if. It says, is 314 greater than 314? Nope, they're still the same. So that also fails. Then it goes to this else, and the else doesn't have a condition. So it just says, let's just run this piece of code. So if we reload, it says default fallback code. If you have an else, make sure it's at the end. It needs to be at the end of your if statement. You could just have an if else, or you could have an if else if, or you could have a multiple else if as well, obviously with different conditions, otherwise the code would be redundant. And you could have multiple other if statements as well, or doing their own special checks. But that's it honestly for conditional statements. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message, and as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.